Hey, what's up? It's Rashad, hanging with the Joneses. Today, Boba Fett, Chapter 1. Super excited for this. And we're going to be doing all of these, so make sure you be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with all your Star Wars fans so they can, get caught up too. This episode was interesting, and it answers quite a few questions, and I like how they did it thematically. So the first question that gets answered is, how is Boba even here? How did he end up here? And if you remember back to Return of the Jedi, Boba falls in the Sarlacc pit. So we got how he gets out the pit. And that was a disgustingly amazing scene. I mean, he really had to figure out how to get out of there, and just the set design of the inside of the actual Sarlacc. Ugh, it was amazingly disgusting. Also, we see how he lost his armor. I mean, that was an easy one. Freaking Jawas came through and just stripped him down. And of course, we see the Marshal ends up getting getting those pieces from the Jawas in Mandalorian season 2, episode 1. So of course we got that. And the most interesting part, and which is kind of the long narrative of the story, is how he befriends the Tusken Raiders. This is all shown to us via dream sequence. And he's in the back of the tank because he is worse for wear. Like, you got to remember, Boba is old. So even though he's got old man strength, he's still older. So he's trying to recoup his body and, get back up to shape. So he's in the back of the tank dreaming about basically past events, and then they show him getting found by the Tusken Raiders. Literally chain this man up, even though he just got acid burns over him, and walking to where their encampment is, and then basically being their slave. It's him and a Trandoshan, and they're just there. Little kids is beating on him. He tries to escape, and he gets whoops pretty bad. The cool part is just showing us how he actually is able to gain the favor of the Tusken Raiders. So it's him and the Trandoshan and the kid, one of the kids. They have to walk. They're walking, and they're trying to essentially find water. They stop to a point because they see some sort of gang or mercenaries, whoever. They spray paint their insignia on a building, and then they dip out. So they go a little bit further to my Boba, the Trandoshan, and the Tusken Raider kid, and then they end up having to dig. So they're trying to dig for these little small pod things. They look almost like huge acorns, and these huge acorn looking things with no points end up having water in them. So they're trying to find water. End up looking for water, found a couple. The Trandoshan is digging, and he ends up seeing like this scaly looking thing. And it ends up being this huge Goro from Mortal Kombat looking creature, which is the design on that looks way better than Goro, by the way. And ends up crushing the Trandoshan, flicking the kid over to the side. And Boba's trying to fight it. He shakes him off, and the creature starts to creep towards the kid. Boba comes through with the chain that was basically holding him down, gets behind him, and ends up decapitating the thing. So the kid and Boba go back to the Tusken Raider camp, and the kid actually has the creature's head. So he carries this thing all the way back, shows everybody. Everybody's hyped because they already knew what it is. Like, yo, like, somebody killed that thing? So they've already had encounters with it, knew about it. And at the end of that, one of the leaders of the Tusken Raiders hands Boba the thing that he went to go find, and offers him some water. So that's how he ends up befriending the Tusken Raiders by actually saving one of their own. And there's nothing more, there's no better way than to befriend somebody than by saving their child. So that was pretty cool. So after he wakes up, essentially, the first time from the baptist tank, Boba is basically giving tributes from everybody in the area. And people come through. One Twilight comes through being represented by, quote unquote, the mayor. Not sure who that is. And he's like, hey, man, what's up? I ain't got no tribute for you, but you should be having tribute for me, you know? And basically tells him, like, look, we're not giving you no tribute. Be happy you left here alive. And then as he's walking away, he said, hey, you know, it ain't going to be the same next time we come through with a delegation of people. So conflicts already. We see the mayor is going to be one of the antagonists of the season to our you know, quote unquote hero Boba Fett. End up going into the city area, and there is looks like a gambling spot, a little casino type deal. We have a Twilight who owns that establishment. That actually Jennifer Beals comes through with a cameo, and she essentially is trying to understand like who Boba is, what he's doing, and basically tells him like, yeah, yo, like we're gonna look out for y'all, you know, and it's gonna be all good. She's like, yeah, well, you know, this is basically not yours, so we'll look out for you too. So they walk out. It's him, Fennec, and two Gamorreans, the same two Gamorreans from Return of the Jedi, and they are bodyguards for them. So they kind of just walk in the city casually, gets surrounded, and jumps by a bunch of assassins, probably from the mayor. That's the delegation. And they have a tussle. Blindsided, you know, Boba gets the best of some of them, but he's kind of hurt. So he's like, look, yo, get me back to the tank. So the Gamorreans, you know, kind of help him get back. Fennec is supposed to essentially keep one of those alive. So they beat everybody up, two on the run. Another new thing that comes into Star Wars is parkour. So we got some Star Wars parkour, which was funny to see. But yeah, Fennec ends up killing one and keeping one alive so they can question him. And that's kind of how the episode ends. And it was a good, really, really good first outing. I don't really, the only like nitpick I have is essentially that fight and how their basically their melee weapons work. It was almost like a electrocution type thing, because it was definitely electrocuting them, and it was like, you know, with the like really offended because she ain't got no real armor like Boba does. But when they kind of hit it with them, like, you know, they were dropping like flies eventually. So I just was like, you know, a little bit of consistency. But other than that, good episode, good first episode, and I'm glad we got the whole origin of this, you know, this version of Boba Fett out of the way, so we can go ahead and focus on the real story at hand, and that's him trying to establish himself as the crime lord on Tatooine. So if you like this episode, let me know in the comments. If you wish they did something different or something that you already know with the prior media, whether it be a book or comic, and you hope that they include it into this story, type in the comments. But either way, that's all I got. We will see you next Wednesday with Chapter 2.